he has my bow. Goku has my bow. New York Comic Con 2014 had an exclusive interview with. Just tell my fans who you are, just so that they know.
Hey fans, that's Goku right there.
It's Vegeta fans.
Hey fans,
Goku. Vegeta.
I'll play Piccolo too.
Please Piccolo too.
And Shenron.
And Shenron. Shenron. Actually, it's Shenron. Ron is his actual name. Shen is just his middle name.
Sometimes he goes by Ron.
Sometimes he goes by Ron.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Shen means dragon, so it's technically Dragon Ron.
Dragon Ron.
Yeah, I'm Ron the Dragon.
See? They just blew your minds right now.
Blew your minds. There.
So
Your
we're
wish
here.
has been granted.
We granted my wish. I wish for more dragons. I can grant my wishes since I can't
They
have
should do
more.
a show called Dragon Ball Z, which is just all the dragons doing shit, running around. Okay, you go put your balls over there. I'm gonna put mine over there.
I think it should do like a sitcom where the dragons are just sitting around the house, in between wishes. Just like, what are you gonna do today? Oh, I want some coffee. Oh man, you wished it again. We should just make coffee sometime.
Yeah, you just make it with our hands.
Just make it with a little dragon hands.
Vestigial things, snake things, or whatever. I don't know.
And then you see Shenron like, ugh.
Except when they talk in the apartment, like, I'd really like some coffee. Because their mouth movements always just kind of go like this. Nobody wants to animate that. That'd be complicated.
We are pitching that to Funimation. We are making a dragon sitcom.
Yeah.
It should be called Dragon Ball Dragons, or Dragon Z.
Dragon Buddies.
Dragon Buddies Z.
Dragon Buddies. See, look at that. We
Dragon Buddy Z.
Dragon Buddy Z. I mean, we're here for Battle of the Gods. Like, how did you what did you? I'm saying a lot of questions about Battle of the Gods.
Okay.
Mainly, just to start out with, how did you feel when they had called you up for Battle of the Gods? Like, I thought everything was like said and done. They called you Battle of the Gods.
Well, I mean, I knew about it in advance for a while, and we had also. Everyone thinks we took this big break, and we've been working on something Dragon Ball related nonstop for the last 15 years. So even at the most, I think we've had a year hiatus. So. Be like, a couple months here, some Dragon Ball Kai. A couple months there, back for more Kai. A couple months there, oh, here's a video game. A couple months there, Dragon Ball Kai. Oh, by the way, next year we're doing the movie. Okay, or whatever. So I was excited mostly about the fact that it was new material produced in Japan that had been done in like 18 years or something like that. So that was exciting. That was the most exciting part for me. New material.
It was. I think it was less about exciting less excitement that it was going to come out, and more like anticipation that we were actually going to do it, because it was out in Japan for way longer than we were hoping it would be before we actually got to do the job. So there was, I mean, we were scared too, because weird things have happened. People have lost licenses and things like that. And like our biggest fear was like, what if Funimation doesn't do it and they decide to use some other cast or something?
They'll just make it like the other movie, Evolution.
Or they make it like a Ninja Turtles movie where they just use different actors.
Different actors that are going to suck no matter what.
Hey, now that you bring up that, like, there's a question coming from from Goku and Vegeta themselves. What do you feel about that Dragon Ball Evolution movie?
Oh, that movie. I have mixed feelings about it only because I think the cast did so good and Shameless. And I have a lot of respect for those actors. And if you analyze it from a movie inspired by loosely that has very little to do with Dragon Ball Z, that's kind of has decent production values, then it's not that bad a movie, and I give it a C. But then when it's supposed to be an actual Dragon Ball movie, F. It was like, come on. But
it's like, I went to school.
Because I
think Emirasa made some great choices as well, actually.
I knew I was going to like it regardless, because it was either going to be amazing or it was going to suck so bad that I got to make fun of it. And I think
the latter happened.
Probably the latter happened.
Probably good Vegeta sat that movie out then. Whew. It's like kind of good you were who knows where, and Piccolo got to be the villain in that.
Yeah, Vegeta, they probably won't even have, if they were to continue it, they wouldn't even have Vegeta. They have some kind of names like Jim that comes in, like Angry Jim. They got a million characters. I remember sitting in the movie and they go to see the Oracle, and I thought, all right, no way, that's Mr. Popo right there. They made Mr. Popo a badass. They have an opportunity to bring in a black character. He's going to be a badass. Sure enough, not Mr. Popo. Missed opportunity.
Totally
missed opportunity.
It's like missed opportunity from so many characters. How do you feel about the impact that Dragon Ball Z had on, like, not even just like in Japan, mostly here for us in America, like no one else?
For me, I like, even the bands I like are this way. They have like a worldwide following, but they generally have a core cult following. So I always wanted to be part of something like that versus something that's just generally loved, like Dancing with the Stars or something, which is whatever. And I'm just so annoyed that every show now has acronyms. I'm like, I can't keep track. So I'm like, can't you just say the words? So I like the fact that Dragon Ball Z has this unique worldwide diehard cult following at its core, and then there is the fringe of the general world population who knows about it or has watched a few episodes. I love having the rabid core underground kind of, well, it's less underground now, but you know what I mean? Like, I like that cult following
just like that
versus just your standard following.
I like the fact that it bridges anime too. It's sort of universally accepted. It's not uncool to talk about Dragon Ball Z at an anime convention. And it's also not uncool to talk about Dragon Ball Z outside of anime.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of athletes I know that are always big fans of Dragon Ball. You just never know. Like, everybody seems to.
When we were kids, just pointless fighting and senseless violence.
Yeah.
And 10 episodes to charge of an attack.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was
just showed you patience.
Yeah, that taught us patience.
Yeah.
Like those who've got the ball, and it's like it's still like the same size with 3 episodes.
Patience and kindness. And hidden fact, Funimation.
Psychology, they would call it delayed gratification, which is apparently a very good life skill that you're supposed to learn. I never learned it.
Sure. But I know that the writers kind of danced around the idea, the concepts of rage. We didn't write the United States dub of Dragon Ball. But I know in its first iteration, some of the guys that were writing it were kind of, devout Christians to some degree, and they didn't like the idea of, they didn't necessarily like the idea of rage causing, your power to increase, like anger, like harnessing the power of your anger.
And they didn't like hell. That kind of shit annoys the crap out of me. It really is annoying.
Home for Infinite Losers?
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
But at the time, of course, they were also scared out of their mind about Dragon Ball Z ever being kicked off the air. Because at the time when Dragon Ball Z was airing, it was still, cable was still a mysterious place. People weren't sure what you could get in trouble for. All this stuff. We always laugh when we have to do alternate versions for standards and practices.
Yeah.
We have to run
which are also ridiculous.
Run on public television. You have to take any instance of, kill, hurt, God, Satan. You can't even say
idiot.
this Earth is a stupid planet.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't say idiot.
You can't even call the Earth stupid.
Stupid, yeah. Everybody's so sensitive. I get it to some degree, but
but it's like
I feel like art, where does that leave Maple for? No.
So after Dragon Ball Z Battle God, they basically confirmed that there's going to be a new series out.
They didn't confirm a series. They confirmed a new movie, perhaps. I don't know anything about a confirmed series.
So
I know. Here's what I heard. I know, and this is not from Funimation. This is what I read on the web. I hear talk about a series and gonna do a movie next year. That's what I hear.
So
but unless you know something I don't.
Yeah, right. Unless I found some underworld
You might have, because this is just stuff I'm finding on general websites as well.
But would you guys like how would that guys be to have them continue with Dragon Ball with another movie or even another series?
Well, it would just be as simple as Funimation, wanting to do it and acquiring the rights, and then calling up Chris and saying we've acquired the rights to this. We'd like to dub it. Isn't that how it goes?
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
What are your favorite times voicing your character? What is your favorite?
When he's not screaming, that was fun for the first 3 or 4 years, and then it got old really fast. Because I kind of got out all my young adult angst by that point. I love the dialogue scenes. I really love anytime I have to play Goku and King Kai, and it's a really well written comedy scene, which happens in Battle of Gods. I love it because I'm a lot of times I'm fooling the audience because they don't know I play both parts, which is one of my favorite things to do as a voice actor. And if I can get their characters unique and timing right, I'm responsible for the whole scene, which is enormous pressure. But at the same time, when it comes off right, it's very gratifying, particularly in Dragon Ball. To do both voices like that.
So, what about your favorite time voicing your character?
Did you just drink out of it?
No. I drank out of my own.
Okay.
I have it on camera in case.
My favorite times voicing Dragon Ball Z is when we had finally figured out what we were doing. Because when we finally got off of the really old, antiquated systems that Funimation was using, we were first starting to dub it. Because when we were first dubbing Dragon Ball, we were dubbing on these 3/4 beta decks, these giant
$25,000 tape machines
that were old. Funimation bought really old ones. And when you were recording somebody, you had to put in this giant tape, and if someone hadn't rewound it, you pretty much had to take a smoke break and go downstairs and wait for it to, back in the day when people smoked, you had to wait for the darn thing to rewind. It would take forever and So you'd be like, all right, Sean, here comes the first line. You press it.
Oh yeah.
Shit. And then we start to spin it again, and then do his line.
And the thing is, there's enormous pressure there because you know that if you don't get your line right, you're going to go through that whole
not to mention
whiz-bang process.
As soon as he does finish the line, it goes, and then it would freeze for some indefinite amount of time.
Yeah.
Like you never knew if it was going to be 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It would just the system would just freeze, and you couldn't touch it. If you touched it, you'd screw the whole system up. So it was maybe long enough to go do something and then come back, but if you missed it, it would unfreeze and then zoom all the way back to the beginning of the episode, so you'd have to fast forward again. So once we started getting, digital equipment, we were working on the stuff where we could work a lot faster, and now is honestly my favorite time working on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, because we got everything, all the kinks ironed out, we're all seasoned at what we do.
I know it sounds cheesy, like we were fed this stuff, but this new movie has been an incredible thing to work on. We already know these characters. We've already experienced their story again and again and again, like Groundhog Day for the last 15 years. It's so nice to be able to finally leave that loop and go do something.
Yeah, the new material was really a breath of fresh air.
It's so cool to get the actors in now for this because you don't have to, as a director, it's simple. You don't have to explain anyone's character to them. Like you just all right, Sean, go in there and do your thing.
There we go.
And then it's fun to go like, okay, how would Goku respond in this new situation?
Yeah, that he's never done before. And Vegeta in particular has some new emotional colors. Goku's are relatively the same, with the exception of a couple areas. But Vegeta has a couple of moments where they really, the character development, the story arc of Vegeta gets, I guess the writers decided to really push that, and it becomes very entertaining in the film. So you get to see sides of Vegeta you probably have not seen before. So it's exciting.
So just, since you all mentioned, the hardest power levels on you. I have a guess, but I want you to say.
Oh no, tell me, because
when Goku turned Super Saiyan 3 for the first time, when he did that continuous, long.
That was difficult. Probably the most difficult one, but I didn't pass out on that one like people like to think I did. I passed out on Super Saiyan 4 for a different reason. That's really hard. That one was really hard, and I had to do it again recently, so it was not. What's your hardest one?
It's actually, mine was never one specific moment. It was sort of an area in the middle somewhere. It got really bad when the Ginyu Force was fighting, and it was Jace and Yamcha fighting and Piccolo fighting. And once all the characters started fighting at the same time, it's just all those characters I played were all fighting at the same time, and we were under a huge crunch to get that show on TV. We were constantly racing the clock, so there wasn't any chance of just doing one character and waiting a week and doing the next character. It was just session after session, day after day, like 12-hour days recording these characters without a break, and it got hard. Yeah. And there was a point in the middle of the series where there was actually a fan who came up to me at a convention and said, hey, your Piccolo voice and your Vegeta voice started kind of sounding very similar to one another. And I had to step back and go, he's right. And I guess I had so much damage to my voice at that time. I was so exhausted that everything was just torn up, and I had stopped thinking about it. I was battle damaged.
Battle damaged. That's appropriate. I love that. Super Saiyan 4, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So do you guys play the games?
Oh, I do. I have played a few of them. There was one I tried to play that the controls were so complicated. I'm so used to Tekken and Street Fighter. You're working in 3D in the games that I got frustrated with them. But I did play all the early Budokai ones. And I really liked those. But there was one I played, I remember just thinking, okay, this is just way too... I was going through the tutorial and I couldn't execute it because the controls were just too complicated for me. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to our next one, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. Do you guys play as your respective characters?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you pick other
characters? Do I play as other characters? No, I'll play as other characters. I'll play as Piccolo, I'll play as Vegeta, I'll play as Krillin.
I do like to play through all the characters I voice, though, and it's not necessarily for just vanity. It's interesting to hear, like, after you've spent hours in the booth making tiny little sounds going
to see how they work.
See how it actually works in the game. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for New York Comic Con 2014. These guys were amazing. I'm so glad I had a great time talking with you guys.
Thank you, man.
You guys are great.
Thank you, dude. It's great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Look forward to more New York Comic Con coverage and more from these guys for the next for Battle of the Gods 2 Electric Boogaloo.
The legend continues, Electric Boogaloo.